Now that we've covered a good amount of basics on this channel about how to actually plan your event, I feel like we're comfortable enough to go into how to actually curate experiences. As I mentioned in my anniversary video, some of these things I'm going to be learning along with you because trust me, there is a lot to cover. Moving forward, I'm going to start making playlists so that it's really easy for you to find the basics if that's what you're looking for, or the more in-depth experiential tips if that's what you're looking for. So starting today and in the future, be sure to check the playlist tab. All right, so let's just get right into it. Hey, welcome back to the Experience Lab. I'm Joanna, your experience navigator, and on this channel, I share experiential tips for everyday brands. When you're planning an event, when you're curating an experience, you have to wear many hats. It's a big job. You have to think about everything for everyone. And you have to do that for every single stage of the process. So if you've ever seen Money Heist on Netflix, I love thinking of event planning and experiential marketing as being the professor in that show who knows absolutely everything, every minute detail about every single person, and has plan A through Z and then 1 through 1 million mapped out ahead of time. And not only that, he can recite it to you frontwards, backwards, off the top of his head. And that is how well you need to know everything about the experience that you're planning. So as you can tell from the title of this video, today I want to talk about how to curate the best experience for your guests. What I want to do in this video is give you some touch points to consider so that you can map it out before you start solidifying your details, signing contracts, and all of those other things. So the first thing to consider is nailing down your who. And as a small business, you should already have sort of an ideal consumer profile. This is what you're going to use to make sure that the experience you're curating is catering to the people who are going to attend. If you're collecting data about your customers, this is where you're going to use it to ensure that everything about the space that you're putting together says to them, you belong here. You want them to get comfortable, settle in, and stay a while. The next thing to consider is having a very clear why. Know why you're inviting people to share a space together. And this is particularly important in today's digital age because people don't leave their houses just for anything. It has to be a really special reason, and they have to feel like they're really going to get something out of it. And if you don't have a clear why and your sole objective is to just throw a giant party for the heck of it, own that too, as long as you know that that's your objective, or lack thereof. Now, when you really dig into what's going to make this an experience to remember, you have to build and maintain excitement beyond the front door. Which means if you have a red carpet, a step and repeat, a champagne wall for people to take pictures in front of as soon as they hit the front door, you better believe the rest of your experience has to be just as grand. Because otherwise, what's the point of sticking around? Once I take my picture and I post my selfie for the gram, that's pretty much it. Now, once you move past that front entrance and you're ready to start building excitement elsewhere, the best way to do that is to tell a story. Take your attendees on a journey. And this is where your design and decor choices do all of the heavy lifting to take people out of reality and let them know that it's okay to believe in what you're doing. If you missed my video on what you can learn from movies and filmmaking and how to pour that into your experience, I highly recommend you check that out. I'm gonna link it in the description because that video teaches you how to make your decor go far. Now, back to this idea of telling a story with your event. Just like when you go to a dinner party, you have an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert, your event, your experience should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Another way to think about this is your DJ knows what types of songs to play towards the end of the night to let people know that the party is wrapping up. What are you doing throughout the evening that tells people they're transitioning into a different period? How are you signaling different moments throughout the day or throughout the evening that are going to tell your guests this thing is exciting and you need to pay attention because it's new? The way I like to think about it, there's 3 portions throughout the evening. There's the sort of intro period where people are socializing. There's the main event period where this is going to have your panel discussion or your main performance or the bulk of the party. And then there's the end of the evening where people can sort of let loose and they know that things are about to wrap up. For example, if you're going to have a panel discussion, you don't want to put too much more after that because people have been sort of spending their brain power thinking and listening, paying attention, taking notes. So anything after that should be really lighthearted, a meet and greet, mix and mingle, time to dance, exchange business cards, or whatever your event is about. Also, if there's anything that you're selling, like merch, people are going to be more receptive to those things towards the end of the night. Because once they first get there, they're still trying to get their bearings, get acclimated to the space. Ain't nobody trying to reach down in their wallet. But you also wouldn't want to put that stuff out too late, because if I'm on the way out the door and I don't want to wait in line to purchase something, you've just lost my sale. So you want to find that happy medium. You want to find that moment where there's maybe an hour or 90 minutes left in the night. I can casually walk over, look at what's available, make my transaction, and make my way out in a timely manner without feeling like you're holding up the rest of my night. So at this point, you might be asking, what is the best way to keep track of all this stuff? You need to make a floor plan. There are tons of software platforms out there that can help you make a floor plan, but really this is the best way to see where your furniture is going to sit in relation to the bar, where you can put your merchandise for sale at the end of the evening, and all of those other touch points that are going to come together for this one big experience. If you missed it, I also have a video on how to make the best floor plan for your event, which I'm also going to link down below. But if you want to get super nerdy about it, you should consider doing something called a desktop walkthrough. If you've never heard of a desktop walkthrough, it's something that I actually only recently learned about, maybe about a year ago, from an organization called This Is Service Design Doing. Essentially, what you do is build out a little cardboard version of your venue with the little furniture pieces, and you literally walk it through from start to finish. What is this touch point? Where are your people going to go first? Where are they going to sit down? How is that going to look in relation to whether there's a stage or where the bar is situated? And what you do is think through all of those interactions and then write down any kinks so that you can fix them before you get to the day of. Now, this organization has free resources on their website where you can download their book chapter by chapter. And I'm going to link below the chapter that has the desktop walkthrough in it. It walks you through how to do everything step by step, everything that you'll need, and what your aim should be by the end of the exercise. And if you're a fan of Money Heist, you know that the professor has a scale replica of the bank that he uses to teach all of his, team members how they're going to get in and rob the place. So again, a desktop walkthrough could help you. Just don't rob any banks. That's not what I said. But seriously, when it comes down to it, it really all boils down to this idea of thinking of every single touch point for every single person. And yes, that includes your photographer, your videographer, your catering staff, how they're going to move around, whether or not it's easy for them to serve food, whether they have a sink available to wash things off, and all of those things, whether or not you have a back of house area or some sort of storage area where you can put extra boxes. Basically, curating the best experience requires you to dig deep. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do in my videos over the next few weeks. So if you're not already, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos. If this video was helpful, give it a like so that you can reference it in the future. And of course, share with a friend so we can continue to grow together. Remember to stay present in your everyday experiences. As always, I'm Joanna. This is the Experience Lab, and I'll catch you in the next one.